we have some guests joining live as well. I think we can do a brief round of introductions just to kick things off. Greg, I'll let you go first.
Yes, thanks, Zach. My name is Greg Gerla, and I'm co-founder and CEO of StrideSoles.
Dominik?
My name is Dominik Walter, and I'm the head of design at StrideSoles.
Dietmar?
My name is Dietmar Walter, and I'm the founder of Orthopedia Walter and of PetCat as well.
And my name is Dr. Zac Cartun. I'm the Chief Medical Officer and co-founder of StrideSoles. Well, it's so great to have Dietmar and Dominik with us today. Just as a little background for anyone listening, Dietmar is the founder of the podiatry and pedorthics clinic that StrideSoles uses to design all of our custom orthotics. And Dominik is his son. This is a multi-generational business and family, and we're so proud to be working together. And the purpose of this podcast today, aside from answering any questions people may have, is to kind of get an understanding of what our philosophy is, how our insole design process came about, what's the history, and to see that this isn't just a clinic that has, built in one way and hasn't changed. It's evolved quite a bit. All of our processes are evidence-based, going off of feedback from patients for many, many years, using the most advanced technologies available. There's no doing things just the traditional way, because there's been tons of advancements from technology ranging from 3D scanning, 3D printing, all sorts of cool materials. And I'd love to begin, Dietmar and Dominik, by getting your story of how Orthopedia Walter and PetCat came to be. So Dietmar, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Okay, I will start a long time ago back. That means in 1975, I started with learning the profession as a craftsman. In this way, it was orthopedic technician. And in the early 18s, 81, 82, I study and make my degree as a master in 82. And then I have a few years, I was in Switzerland, Zurich, and so on. At Stuttgart here in Germany, Munich, I was for a long time. And then in 86, I was founding my own company, my own food clinic in Oberkochen here in a small town in Germany. And the business was really perfect at that day, because I have the technology from Switzerland. And in Switzerland, they make insoles totally different than here in Germany. They molded the insole from the top side. In Germany, we are normally using to modify from the upper side of the insole, but this is not so helpful than the way to mold it from the top side. And at that time, the pieces of insoles are really growing fast. And then I have to manufacture all the insoles by hand. It was really a heavy work. And by the time I have to make podiatrist work and so on and so on, that means I wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock and the day ends at 11 o'clock in the evening. And I work more or less all over the day. And then I was searching for a solution how I can make the insoles in a better way, but with the same quality as I made it by hand. And at that time, it was 89, 90, around this. There was no technology in the market who can help me. And then, good luck, here in Germany, in the southern part of Germany, we have a lot of engineers and manufacturers. And then I start to make a milling machine together with other guys. And additional, we start with a CAD system by side. So we can design the insoles in the CAD system and manufacture it with a CNC milling machine.
So I just have to take a pause right here. So you started using CAD modeling in the late 80s, early 90s?
Exactly. At that time, we were the first in the world.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you were such an innovator, before the internet was a thing or big, like that sort of philosophy has infused the design all the way forward. Like there's never been a fear of technology. It's always been, I want to use whatever the best tools are available to design my orthotics. And just because I'm not, familiar with them yet doesn't mean it's not the best for my patients. And I think being willing to take that risk is really, really commendable. It's something I'm very impressed by. But yeah, please continue.
Yeah, and at that time, you can imagine, early 19th, end of 80s, normally CAD systems are running on workstations. And we have a CAD system developed who is running on a PC. I think we have 33 megahertz at that time. It's really, really slow. That means we have to program a really perfect software that these PCs are fast enough to do the work. And always, it was not the aim to make a digital system. The aim was to make a perfect job for our clients, but in another way than to create it by hand, because by hand we were limited, and we have such a number of clients that it was not able to do everything by hand and to train people, to educate people in this job. Wow, it was so complicated. Therefore, for us, it was really a perfect thing that we are on the starting point on the PC. We can use all these technologies. It was perfect. And I think we have done a good job, because up to now we are working for university clinics. Also, we have in the mid of 90s, we have a scientific job together with Professor Peter Richard Kavanagh at that time from the Penn State University. And we got digital data, like data from you, and we design the insoles for diabetic people in this way and sent back the insole, and he was testing how reproducible the work is and how helpful the insoles are. And I think we have done a good job at that time. And it was mid of the 90s. Therefore, nobody do create insole in a digital way at that time.
Yeah, that is so fascinating. And you mentioned working with, professors at universities globally. Can you share a little bit about how you have used patient feedback or customer feedback to continue iterating your design to make better and better insoles?
Yeah. Really, really, really early, we start with children insoles, because here in Germany also, people thought insoles for children, they stop the training of the foot. They support the foot and the muscles would not train.
Atrophy.
Yeah. And in this way, we make, first of all, a study in the University of Ulm. We have a number of children we support with insole, one number with physiotherapy, and also the same number without anything. And at the end of this study, it was during 1.5 to 2 years, they recognize that, that the best developed muscles are from children who are wearing our insoles. And when we know this, then we say, okay, we have to control what we have done. And so we make insoles, and after 8 weeks, we start to control the effect of the insole. And also in the mid of the 90s, we say, okay, when it is helpful for children, we make the same for adults. And since that time, all insoles we create here in our lab, in our foot clinic, after 8 weeks, the patients came back. We control via dynamic measurement system. We control before and after 8 weeks, and then we compare the result. If we have any problems, we remold the insoles, and the other way, we note what we have done and what effect we have. And this is the content now of our digital system. With this knowledge, up to now, we make in our foot clinic this control. And with this knowledge, our system, our digital system is growing and growing, and hopefully has the right effect for all the users.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so if you just think about the number of patients you've had since instituting this system in the early 90s all the way to now, that's like almost 30 years of
Thousands
just
and thousands.
continual improvement and learning and learning. So, you know, you mentioned that you look at the foot for your in-clinic patients at the beginning and then at 8 weeks. When you see improvement, what is it that you're looking for? What do you see when the foot improves?
When we, in the first consultation of the patient, we check the foot, we check the problems they have, and then we have a strategy, what we want as the aim of the insoles. And sometimes we are limited because people are not flexible enough and so on, or they are older people, you have limited chance for correction. But what we note during the first consultation, this we control with the second consultation. And then we can see, okay, it goes in the right way. When we are not satisfied, 100% satisfied, then we make a third control or a third, fourth, it doesn't matter how often. In short times, we try to repeat the control. And mostly we have effect, the good effect, mostly.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And when we met earlier this year in Oberkochen, which you say is a small town, but you're right next to Zeiss, which is one of the most advanced measurement engineering companies in the world. So I would say your town has a lot of scientific and technological ability. You were telling me about your philosophy for making the best insole or orthopedic company, and it distilled down into how can you continue making the perfect insole. Do you remember talking about this? That it all came down to if you could make the perfect insole for each patient, for each customer, you would have the best orthopedic company in the world. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not exactly, but
you two talked. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
I guess let me give a little bit more context, because you were saying that you put all of your attention and energy into making the perfect insole as you were developing Orthopedic Walter, but now the attention and detail that you've put into making that perfect insole, you didn't think as much about scaling that solution out into the world. And I think that's where Stride came in to bring the learnings that you've developed over such a long time to make it accessible for everyone else. So I was wondering if you could share kind of where you started to realize that making your solution accessible was a challenge.
Yeah, I think this is mostly the task or the work Dominik had done, because I'm so strong focused on my patients. And okay, every time you have to think about commercial things, but not in this way that I say, okay, I make a system for all over the world. But as Dominik starting here in the company, he say, okay, this is a perfect system that we can multiplicate. And then you come and give us the idea and take the idea with you and multiplicate it. And I think we do our job here in our clinic. And what we do, always we try to find the best measurement systems we can use. And when we start, our focus was only the foot. And later on, we have the focus up to the hip. And now we have the focus completely of the whole body. And this is our task. We have to do all the measurement data, collect and put out the source of this data that we can mold the best fitting insoles or the most effective insole. This is our job. or my job. And Dominik now works together with you and try to multiplicate this.
So before I switch over to Dominik, you mentioned your job is to build the most effective insole. And that is a broad definition because the most effective insole for one person has one purpose. The most effective insole for another person has another purpose. I want to ask about just kind of standard conditions, what generally the effective insole is supposed to do. So if I were to say, if you have a patient that has flat feet or pes planus, what does an effective insole look like and what is it supposed to do?
Yeah, first of all, if patients with flat feet are coming here, we check, is it flexible, this flat feet, or is it rigid? If it is flexible, then we try to activate the muscles. Always, this is our aim, that we support in one way the foot, but we try that he can help, the patient can help for herself. That means when we strengthen the muscles, then they have a chance to lift the arch, for example. And often when you have flat foot, you are walking in this direction. And this is not good for your knees, it's not good for your hip, and also for the lower back. And therefore we try to rotate the foot. We support the foot, but also we rotate the foot. That we have the best situation for all the joints of the body. This is one example. But when I start in the foreground, it was my feeling. But now we try to have special points for correction. And these points always based to a problem. And then we mix the point. This is what we have a source of our experience. And I think in the moment we are really good in this job for mixing all the special correcting points.
I completely agree. And maybe Dominik, can you elaborate a little bit on what your dad means about mixing these special corrective points and how we incorporate that into the design?
Yeah, as my father already explained, flat feet are a condition with several symptoms, right? So our main goal is always to treat the root of the symptom, the root of the flat foot, by strengthening the foot, right? Our insoles are training devices. The more you walk on them, the more impulse we give, and the better the foot muscles will build. And one functional element for insoles is, of course, the element on the medial arch. Now, what's specific about this, though, is like you have all the insoles that you get over the counter, they all have medial arch support. But the special thing about our approach is we do not want to passively align. We want to stimulate by changing the load on the tendon, giving an impulse, and then causing a muscle reaction on your end. So basically the only thing what we do is remind your brain on activating this muscle, right? The more you walk on them, the more information you get, the more the muscle gets active, and repeated activating muscles will train the foot, and therefore you lift the foot. And there's several different elements, like for instance, a heel cut to align the heel bone, right? But also in a certain way. So it's not just increase the shell of the insole and then you're done. It's all what my father said, the specifics of the elements that we need to align. And it gets very complex when you have not only flat feet, but flat feet with other conditions like flat feet and medial knee pain or lateral knee pain, right? And then we have to evaluate or address different symptoms. And this is something now it gets more and more complex, as you can imagine. The higher we go, like you have your foot pain, okay, that's one thing. Then we have knee pain also, and we have some rotation. And to address all this, that's the task, or that's the work my father did in the past and brought into the algorithm. That's why I always say, like, our design workflow is basically my father's brain put into a software, and now that's how we can now scale it and make it accessible to everyone.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the question I wanted answered. So thank you so much. And I understand your point that people typically don't have just flat feet or just plantar fasciitis or just knee pain. There's a mixture of all of these. And if you were to design insoles that only correct for flat feet, you're going to miss or even exacerbate, make worse other symptoms. So you need to be able to think about all of these and integrate each of these symptoms and condition into the insole to treat the whole body correctively, as opposed to trying to nip this problem, solve this problem, and do each thing independently. So thank you so much. Before moving on, I want to just do one more condition, sort of just like we talked about flat feet. Another condition that's super common that we get asked about all the time. And Dietmar, this is for you. How do you think about designing insoles for plantar fasciitis, and what does an effective insole look like for that condition?
Yeah, plantar fasciitis. It depends. First of all, you have to look for the root. What is the problem beginning? And mostly, we have to take care that all the muscles can work in the right way. We have to lift the arch. That means we have to support it in a special way. Then we reduce the Spannung, was heißt denn das?
Tension.
The tension of the tendo.
Das habe ich verstanden. Yeah.
We reduce the tension of the tendo, and then the inflammation here in the heel part or over the tendo normally is going away with this thing. But always, not the insole alone is the thing who helps. You have also take care about the right shoe. Both together is really, really important. The right shoe and the best fitting insoles. I hope we can do the best fitting insole.
That's actually exactly where I wanted to go next. I hope I'm right on this. You don't just make insoles, you make orthopedic shoes as well, correct?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's very rare for an insole company to have such knowledge of shoes as a whole as well. There's a lot of things you can do with the insole, but there's a synergy that has to happen between the insole and the shoe. And maybe you can talk about that generally, like what are things that you have to think about when it comes to the shoe and insole dynamic together?
Yeah, okay. This is a little bit difficult. This is a huge field.
Big subject. Yeah, I know. Just do your best.
Some basics. First of all, the heel is the most important part of the shoe. You can imagine when we are born, or 100 years ago, we have no shoes. We are walking barefoot, maybe in sand or grass and so on. That means the shoe mostly has to have a flat sole. This is perfect for the whole body. And also we can use a lot of points for our insoles for correction. If you have a high heel, we have only the forefoot for correction. If you have a flat shoe, that means no heel, then we have the whole surface of the foot for correction. We can steer, we can lead, we can support, and so on. And then the next thing is in the forefoot. Often people have shoes like this, and this is not good. Your muscles couldn't work free. You have to use a shoe who give you in exactly the space you need, and then your muscles can work free. And also we can train it with our insoles. These are, I think, the few points of basic things for best fitting shoes.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love it. And I really love the point about the big toe, about how it needs space to go out, because a lot of shoes compress the forefoot and don't allow the additional stability and push off that your big toe was intended to provide for the foot during that, if we're walking on grass or sand or soil. And I've had a lot of conversations with Dominik about this as well, and he reiterates that point. Okay, well, we have 5 minutes left.
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna.
We're gonna extend this out. Zach, feel free to drop off.
Okay.
I have one question actually for Dietmar. Tell me about your excitement and why you like working with Stride and got involved with us in the
Oh, this is a difficult question. You are the best. I think it fits perfect together from how can I say in English, the personality from you and Dominik and me. It fits perfect together. We know exactly what to do. You have your perfect knowledge in your field. We have hopefully perfect knowledge in our field. And together we create a new solution for the market. And always, I think your aim and our aim is to make really a good job for all the people who trust us, because this is really important. We don't want only make marketing and make big money. Okay, for sure, everybody wants to make big money, but we want to help people who have problems. And we thought you are the best partner for us to multiplicate our solution. And this is the reason why we are working together.
Well said. Yeah, we love working with you guys. It's been 3 years now, I think.
I know. Can you believe it?
Actually, I think almost exactly. I was at INSEAD in March. We were there.
Yeah, we started Stride Souls in March.
That's nuts.
Oh.
And I believe together now, we've helped almost 10,000 patients.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. Really, really exciting.
Yep.
We hope that all the patients are satisfied with the product you support.
Exactly.
That's our goal, is to get 100% satisfaction.
We do have a question, which I answered in the chat, but would love to, if you want to, I don't know if I can have, sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Studio chat. Public chat. There we go. Sorry. Yeah. Sam Johnson asked, will your insoles alleviate metatarsal and toe pain as a result of golf, swinging, and walking course? So he has current orthotics, but he's looking to change. Can you help him think through these orthotics helping for metatarsal and toe pain? Whoever wants to answer.
Yeah, maybe let me step in here, because this is something we improved only recently. I think in the last 1.5 years, we focused a lot on golf insoles, because we were collaborating with Germany's #3 in golf. And he had a very specific question to us. He changed the sponsor for shoes, and ever since he had issues while walking. Now, as a professional golfer, walking is one part, because he walks a lot, of course, but it's very important that he can also swing properly. So we had to create an insole together with him that accommodates both. His issue was, during walking, he would stress so much, his muscles, they were just cramping, that he couldn't swing properly when it was time to do that. So what we did is create an insole together with him that relaxes him during the gait, but gives enough stabilization during the swing. And so we have this hybrid, created this hybrid, and ever since he's really, really happy with what we did for him. And the specific was alleviate metatarsal. What does alleviate mean?
To reduce, help.
Okay, sorry. Alleviate metatarsal and toe pain as a result of golf swinging. Yeah, exactly. That's, I mean, why is there pain? It's always the question about the cause, right? And if he has pain in the metatarsals and in the toes, it's probably because he's not stable enough, or you, Sam, are not stable enough during the swing and the gait, so you crawl, or you have claw toes, right? What you do is always grab with your toes while walking and swinging. And what we can do with the insoles is give you a little impulse for the toes. That's why Stride has toe elements on all the insoles, to prevent you from grabbing like this, because the little toes, they're not made for a lot of pressure. And by giving a toe element, we can reduce the stress on the toes. Is Zach gone?
Zach might have had to leave, but I don't know. That's still a great answer. And I think that was where our questions for now. If anyone is still on the line, I will close up and say that we have a discount code for you guys for sticking around so long. So please use the code HawkHill, HAWKHILL, for 20% off your order. Yeah, you can always email us. We are 100% available between the time zones most hours of the day. So just team@stridesoles.com, and you'll get one of us to respond. And yeah, we look forward to doing this every week. So we will have different guests and different topics, but it's something that we promise to our customers that will always be available to answer questions as they come up. So yeah, thanks Dietmar and Dominik. Thank you for the time, and talk soon.
Thank you guys. Thanks for
Thank
joining.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.